Welcome back to Under the Surface, the show where we talk everything the Bazaar. In this episode, we take a look at the idea of adding guilds to the game. We look at how they could make the game more interactive and how they could be integrated with other future Bazaar features. Some of these features are confirmed, while others are ideas that we've come up with. So, let's dive under the surface. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Under the Surface. And today we wanted to talk about sort of a pipe dream feature idea that we had, and that would be guilds, or a guild style system. It could be called something else. It probably would be called something else. But if you've played like MMOs or maybe Clash of Clans, you've been involved in basically what we're thinking of right here. Like in Clash of Clans, they're called clans. But this would be like one of the sorely missed like connection features with other players. Like we don't have friends lists, we don't have leaderboards or anything like that, but we know those are coming. And this could be sort of like an addition to those to make you feel more like you're involved with a community of people. But you might be wondering, what does this look like? Like, what does a guild system look like? Well, you would probably join up with, I would assume, a limited number of players, maybe 100 or 50. I don't know what a good number is, but something like that. And you all could work towards common goals. So maybe like me and Nunhead are in a clan together and with 48 other people, and we're all trying to earn so many trophies by the end of the season to earn a cosmetic for everybody in our clan. That could be the most simplest version of it, but we could implement things farther as the game progresses and add things like tournaments within guilds potentially, or wars between two guilds. What exactly that would look like, it's hard
Yeah,
to say, but
I mean,
so what do you think, Nunhead?
let's focus on one thing at a time to not dilute the whole idea here. So let's start with the challenges idea. Let's start with that. So yeah, I agree that would be probably kind of cool because we already have those daily challenges, weekly challenges, and some form of achievements are also coming in, but those would be like account wide sort of, but with the addition of guilds we could band up together as players and have additional goals to achieve, right? So perhaps if we were to get collectively like certain number of like legendary items, so if we defeat a certain number of bosses or get like XP in total throughout the month, maybe we would be able to get something cool, like a guild rag, a guild card back, things like that.
Yeah, I think it would be like it's just the fact that you could do that would be really fun. It doesn't even need to be anything super special, right? It doesn't need to be like a legendary anything because it's just fun that you're working with other people
Yeah,
to
okay.
achieve something. I feel like this isn't, I mean, the social features are probably hard to implement, but we know they're coming. So I don't see why this can't come with it at the bare minimum. I also just really want to have an easy way to see like all of my friends in like my guild and be able to like scroll over and be like, oh, Nunhead's latest build was really cool or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, true, like this would be some sort of extension of social features like friends list, right? So, and also guilds could be connected to a previous idea of events, right? So some events could allow guilds to have, certain activities that they can partake in, right? So I don't know, like I think there's space to explore there, and we have a couple more ideas besides like some form of like additional challenges for groups of people. So if you would introduce guilds, people would probably like to see which guild is the best, right? Like if you're a good player, you would probably like to join a good guild. So that would probably suggest a ranking system. So guilds could compare against each other. We already have like individual rankings online, but yeah, if you could sort of, and I'm not really sure what would you gauge. Would that be like ranks on the ladder? Would that be your sort of game completion? I'm not sure, but in some way people could compare against each other, and being in the guild that's top one on the server would be somehow a prestigious thing, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't really figure out how the leaderboard should work either because like it seems kind of lame just to do it by wins because it's more of just about time played. So I don't really know how that works, but there could, if there are eventually wars between guilds, it could be somehow based on that.
I mean,
So
we already have a whole list of various, what's it called, statistics that are tracked. Like 10 wins
yeah,
total, 10 win percentage. So, those could also be tracked by guilds, but instead of just one single player, it would be your whole guild. So you performing well would reflect on the guild, but, if you're tanking the guild's ranking, you'll be let go, probably.
I don't know. It's like a job.
I mean, to be fair, I suppose that those, I don't know, top 10 guilds on the servers would probably treat that like a job. Like, that happens in all MMOs, right? If you want to be the best on the server, people will expect you to, log in certain number of hours every day. And if there are some time sensitive activities, then your guild master will expect you to participate in them, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, I assume people like Crip and Retromation, a lot of the top players would probably be in a guild together just for the fact that they all like play the game professionally, essentially. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe they won't take it that serious.
I mean, there's also like the idea of guilds could facilitate like this community that comes from a streamer, right? So Crip has his viewers, Retromation has his viewers. There are probably a couple more streamers that have the viewership, and they could, create their own guilds and allow players from their chat to join and, have like a in-game community instead of just having it on stream.
Very true. And I kind of wondered if there would ever be chat in this game. I really don't care if there is, to be honest. But, like Hearthstone has chat, and a lot of the clan-based games have chat. So maybe a clan chat makes sense, or a guild chat makes sense, just to have a way to discuss stuff. But I know that adds a whole other layer of liability for tempo,
I mean, well, if someone is, disrespectful in any way, shape, or form, the guild master or whatever could, report them, or whoever could report them, and their account could be simply banned or whatever. If they are overstepping some lines that should not be overstepped. Like, yeah, if you break the rules, like, you would probably have to agree to some. I think we all agreed to something when we installed the game, when we, made our accounts. So you could add another line that you cannot say certain words or derogatory terms or whatever, and you're good. And yeah, if you do, then you are banned, whatever. So I don't think that, removing a feature like chat from a game just in case there's some dumb guy or girl that, wants to attack other people, like that's, I don't know. Like, I know that's an American way, but like, for example, and I'm like referring to the fact that on your coffee cups you have to have written down, careful, it's hot, because one woman sued the company because, oh, who knew that the coffee was hot when I ordered a hot coffee? I didn't know. Yeah. So yeah, that's the point. But so yeah, back on track, to get back on track. I think guild chat would be cool, like sharing tips on a guild chat. And well, if you have like a friends list, you should be able to whisper your friends. So that, I think that's like reasonable extension of that feature, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of assumed, but also like I don't know all the implications and everything, so I didn't want to be like, it's a for sure thing they should add immediately, because I don't want it to like. I would rather have the clan or guild feature out there and not be able to chat versus wait like 6 months while they implement stuff and do all the legalese stuff behind the scenes, and have a team focused on whatever they need to focus on. But it can't be that bad because like every game pretty much does it. But yeah, another thing I thought about with guilds was that even as the game moves into like a single player section, you could still be part of a guild, because I mean, it kind of feels more like the MMO aspect of it, I guess, where it's kind of like it's not like a single player experience, but it's like a story experience, but then you're participating with other people. So I think the guild system could be worked so that regardless if you're a single player type player or a, PvP type player, you could still be a part of a guild and still be progressing towards something. Not sure how you feel about that.
I mean, yeah, like just because you don't play ranked mode, you shouldn't be excluded from a guild system. Like if guilds would be like if there would be a guild that's focused on the PvP aspect and is try hard and all that, then perhaps you wouldn't be able to join that guild. But if there's a guild of people that just want to be in a guild and don't worry about the rankings or whatever, then why not? Let's group up and have fun in the game, right? Perhaps there would be some like activities designed for guilds specifically in PvE, right? And when we talked about the events, you may link the video here. We were talking about the City Rises or something like that event. So imagine there's a giant boss that's a district. It has a giant health bar that spans, I don't know, like 10 million health, whatever. And over the course of the season, all players contribute to taking down the district, like this giant boss. So there could be also like not only like this individual part where you yourself damage the boss. Like guilds could also be part of that, so that would be some sort of like PvE aspect of it. So let's say there would be ranking of singular players who dealt the most damage, but also which guild dealt the most damage to the boss, right?
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. It's an easy thing to add if they're going to add the events for sure.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring up the fact that all those things could sort of interact with each other and have, so those things could like lead from one place to another. So if you enter one space, let's say guilds, it could lead you towards events and engage you in that part of content, And perhaps if a person is strictly PvE player, then if they join a guild, then they might get interested in ranked play and playing against other players, because maybe they will be able to join a custom lobby that's in guild, that you can only play against people in your guild, like you all let's say get together at, I don't know, 5 p.m. on Friday, and you say, yeah, let's all 50 people join this one custom lobby, and let's say we disable this merchant, and this item. That would be pretty cool. And then we just play out the game until the last person is standing.
Man, that sounds incredible, actually.
So in that situation, that person who doesn't usually go play ranked, they might join this custom lobby because it's all for fun, and then they can spectate their friends when they lose.
Yeah, I think this touches on like something that I was just thinking as I wrote out some notes for this guilds episode, because it just seems like such an obvious way from like a money tempo, making money and keeping people engaged in the game perspective. It seems like a super easy thing to add, like if you have another thing to work towards and you can see your friend's progress, like you just want to play more. Like it's just a fact, like your brain chemistry just gets excited and it's like, let me do another run for the guild. And then of course, like what you said, it might get PvE players interested in PvP way down the line, or vice versa if there's different overlaps. So it could, I don't know, it just seems like a smart money decision too.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely they will want to expand the game on different axes, because like if they only focus on adding card packs and new heroes, we're going to be stuck in a rut. It would be cool if the game would expand in different direction. Of course, there's also this pitfall of making the game so broad that no new player can get into the game, because the amount of information needed to just exist in the game is so overwhelming. So there needs to be some sort of, I don't know, like it needs to be done sensibly. But a couple more like spaces to occupy in the game would be cool, because right now, like simple addition of the shop, I think already brought some excitement to the game, because when you log in, you go to the bazaar tab and look up what new item you can buy. So like there's more buttons to click, more as I said, spaces to occupy yourself, and I don't know, like different ways to approach the game.
Yeah, I the thing you worry about is like the Hearthstone thing, where they add new like sections and then they take them away. You know, I don't know what all the stuff they've added is, but I know they had like a single player type thing that just got yoinked.
I mean, there were like 4 or 5 different single player things in the game. So yeah.
So I don't think the Bazaar is going to fall into that sort of thing, but that's always the fear.
I
But
mean,
guilds is an obvious addition.
I was
But
mostly like referring to like mobile games or something where like every couple of months you get another new system added on top of the game, and there's at some point, if you want to play the game, you have to like juggle like 15 different currencies, 6 different screens, 11 different like skill trees, and new player is going to feel overwhelmed and they are going to uninstall the app because they do not want to engage with such a complicated system. So like too much is as bad as having too little, but like yeah, striking a balance would be cool. Let's let's end with that.
yeah,
But yeah, I think because I touched upon the custom lobbies, like in guild sort of gaming, and I think this is also like partially related to like tournament games. Because we already did an episode on tournaments, we couldn't really think of the ways how to approach that. And I think, okay, so I'm going to compare this game to another game, and I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. I mean, how I feel about tournament systems. So I'm sort of into Trackmania. I don't really play it because my hands hurt when I, squeeze my controller too hard, because I get really stressed when playing like dexterity-based games. But yeah, Trackmania, first of all, does something like Cup of the Day. So you join a sort of room, like lobby, and you play on a map selected by the Nadeo, so the company that makes the game. But that's not as important, as there are clubs, so sort of like guilds. And in those clubs, people can set up rooms with various map packs or single maps, and then people can play on those maps. They can either like play to get the best time, or they can play knockout tournaments. And I think something like this could be cool introduction of the tournament system to, feel out how people like that sort of thing. So let's say a guild could set up like this custom lobby and perhaps you would be required to be a part of the guild to join that, but maybe you would be able to set it up as anybody can join, or anybody above certain rank or whatever. And then let's say there's like 50 slots, so everybody chooses their character, and then you play until the last person is standing. And also I mentioned about choosing like your sort of difficulty settings, not really sure. So perhaps excluding certain items or certain events, certain merchants would also be cool to customize the experience,
Yeah, I think just the custom like the making a lobby like that and excluding certain items or merchants or whatever would be really fun, because you could do anything. You could make the game be anything for that group of people.
Yeah, and further on, streamers, so like if a streamer has a guild, like their own guild, they could host like tournaments for their viewers with wacky, rules. And that would also be like some sort of community building experience.
Yeah, that's content right there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, I guess knockout tournament is the easiest idea to do it, like easiest way. But I don't know. I think guild is just such an integral system. The more I thought about it, so I'm sure Tempo's thought about it, and I'm sure in 20 years when we get friends lists and stuff, they'll consider adding this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, makes total sense.
They need to add like avatar, like you need to have like be able to change like picture, like profile picture and stuff. That'd be fun. Like to your different skins.
So we can share our great white beards when it finally comes. Yeah.
And I also, this is getting a little unrelated, so it's probably about time to end the episode. But like just showcases, like be able to like scroll over somebody and see like the rarest items and I don't know, their best builds.
Yeah, you already like brought it up once, or I think, but that would also be a cool addition. So you could see, yeah, you actually make like what's it called, like glass case? What it called? Like, is there a
Or like a
particular
trophy case.
yeah, something like that. That would be really cool if you could, go to your guild, look through like the best players in your guild and look at the trophy case and go like, wow, they have some rare items or some extremely rare achievements. Oh yeah.
The social thing too, like with the guilds and with just general social features, kind of fixes the problem where like a lot of people are saying like this is a single player game. Why would I ever buy a skin? Because it's like, oh well, now people are gonna see your skin that just scroll over your thing anyway, right? Like or whatever. So more opportunities for people to see how much money you spent in the game.
I mean, to be fair, like I have played a lot of. But okay, let's bring the very recent example, Expedition 33. You can go, find merchants and buy outfits and hairstyles for your characters in that game. And like, it's a single player game, and I bought every single one. Like, I mean, it's you're not paying like real money in that game, but like if you earn gems in the bazaar, you're also not paying real money for those cosmetics. So like, I mean, there's definitely a subset of people who will never buy any cosmetics and, run the vanilla flavor all the way till the end of times. But like, a lot of people like to customize their characters. Like, what's so hard to grasp?
I don't know, because like I mean I haven't spent like straight up money on anything besides like subscription and stuff. So, but I would consider buying the skin if it's like that good, right? Like I would consider it at least. So yeah, it's fun.
Yep. So that's
Yeah.
guilds for you.
That's guilds. If you have any comments on how guilds should work, I'm sure we missed some integral things here, and also we haven't played every game, and a lot of games have guild systems, so maybe there's something that works better for the bazaar that we didn't even consider. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you on his channel on Thursday or Monday.
Yeah, the episodes are on Monday, so bear that in mind. And yeah, that's it. So bye.
See ya.